Welcome back to the Modern Day Overthinker podcast. My name is Colin and I am your host. Thank you for tuning in. This episode is featuring a new friend of mine. He goes by the name of Yoshi. His full name, however, is Yoshikoson, Umeko, Haddon. And he has a hell of a story to tell. And I'm so glad I had him on. Great conversation. Great guy. Love his hustle, love his mentality, and he recently just had a new baby girl, so congratulations on that. Him and the mother are doing great, as well as the child, obviously, so I love to hear that, and I want to dedicate this episode to our buddy Brad Han, because we'll never forget you, buddy. Everyone enjoy episode 38 with my buddy Yoshi. I want to start out by just giving you an opportunity I always give everybody an opportunity to kind of introduce themselves and kind of what they do, if you're from the area, where you're from, things like that, just a little bit of background, just so people can kind of get an idea if they have never heard of you.
Yeah, absolutely. My full name is Yoshikoson Umeko Haddon. I was born in Davenport. I lived off of 10th and Warren until I was about 12 years old. I moved with my father in South Chicago in a trailer park at 12 and stayed there until I was about 17. Ended up technically enlisting into the Navy at 17. Did a year of prep school at the United States Preparatory School over in Rhode Island for the Naval Academy. Did 4 years at the Naval Academy. Graduated with a computer engineering degree and as a surface warfare officer. Ended up doing 3 years after that, so a total of 8 years in the Navy. I got out, started my business, which is still going on today. It's called Yoshi's Tronics. I started this out in Virginia. Did that for about 4 to 5 years. Big thing happened. I ended up spending about a year in jail, got out, ended up having the charges dropped because they were falsified to begin with, and had to rebuild my life from there. So moved down from Virginia back here home to Iowa. Hadn't been back here since I was 12, really. And
a lot different.
Yeah. Really hit the reset button on my life, and just I intended on doing things different, just working a normal 9 to 5, raising a family. Fate and God had something more for me, so I ended up starting my my electronics store back up over here. Did extremely well, expanded and started a Airbnb business called Yoshi's Place. I now have 5 in the area, 1 in Virginia that used to be my house over there, and recently purchased 3rd Street Bar and Grill back in February. It is now reopened as Yoshi's Bar and Filipino Canteen.
That was for sale for a while.
Yeah, a couple of years I heard, but
the pandemic too, nobody wanted to buy a bar.
Yeah. Commercial property, just businesses in general right now are probably at an all-time low, I would say, if especially
trying to buy.
Yeah. It's a really good buyer's market for commercial property. It's just where the economy is post-COVID. It's and that coupled with where the labor market is, where there just aren't. You just didn't have a lot of people willing to work for a period of time there. I use that word willing lightly. There's several factors that went into that, but there was it was just hard for employers to find help, and that contributed to a lot of businesses shutting down. Supply and demand drove the prices of commercial property down. So I got
supply and demand of just a lot of things, just manufacturing wise,
Absolutely,
is all messed up.
Absolutely, and it really all links back to labor. A lot of it goes
Really?
back to labor. Yeah, big companies, even our Amazon factory over here in Davenport that was supposed to be built, that has been delayed because there are just not enough people to build it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Man, maybe I need to get into manual labor.
It's a very good market right now, I'll tell you.
Yeah, you're gonna find work if you're in that field. That's for sure. So as far as the business goes, what's your main? Obviously, it's an electronic repair store, correct? Mainly, but you also obviously do a couple other things as well within the store.
Absolutely. So we, our main business is repairing, which honestly, the business started as a buying and selling business where you would buy used electronics, whether they're broken or whatever, and we would sell them both in a local and a global market, locally in the store and globally on different avenues like eBay, Amazon, etc. We have limited pretty much to eBay for our global market and in store for our local.
Yeah, eBay is really popular globally.
Yeah, it's a good way to access a market that was for a very, very long period of time only accessible by a very few. And we're seeing that in a lot of different industries. Access to the internet and just the ability to communicate worldwide instantly has opened up, industries that were limited to a select few, even with things like this, like podcasting. Back in the day, I'm sure you're well aware of this. You had to be kind of in the know with radio in order to do something similar.
Oh yeah, you had to have your foot in the door somewhere, or get hired on somewhere to have your own show. And now you can just start your own show.
Absolutely.
Same thing with music too. Like you can just build your own studio at your house and just start recording. It doesn't take that much money either.
Right. Absolutely.
And there's all types of software that'll mix and master it for you. It's it's a totally different game out there now. The amount of podcasts that get uploaded just on a daily basis. The thing I've learned about podcasting though is this is a long game. It's what I've learned from the people that have done it. They get burnt out or they stop staying consistent. That's when they just stop altogether. Like the amount of consistent podcasts out there is actually a lot smaller pool than you think.
Absolutely. Consistency is really important in a lot of different venues, and this is no exception. People ask all the time, why don't you close your bar early when you don't have any customers? Well, it's for consistency. I want someone to know they can come to my bar at 1:30 in the morning.
Exactly, yeah.
No matter what day, you know what I mean? Just consistency is really important to customers.
I remember working at a bar and being the bartender and be like, why can't we close? And then like not really thinking about it that way because I was just the employee. But from a business standpoint, you want to be consistent because you never know. Some big group might show up at 12:30 and you were going to close at 12.
Right. And it's not about getting their business at, 12:30 or 1:30. It's about them showing up and knowing that, their posted hours are, because if I show up to a business,
legit, yeah,
and they're closed when they're supposed to be open, I'm not going to come back even during the day because I don't know if they're going to be open or not. You know, you may think, this business must be shut down or something.
Yeah, I won't name the restaurant, but we were talking about a restaurant earlier that does that. You got to watch out for that. Consistency has been very key in a lot of aspects of my life and with my mental health, like consistently. Like one thing I implemented in my routine recently was going to the gym. Like the last year, I've been going to the gym pretty regularly and staying consistent with that. Before I would go to the gym for if I ever did join the gym, I would go for like a month or two and then just fall off.
Right.
And I've noticed that's helped me mentally and physically as well because I was starting to balloon up a little bit there. Yeah. And it's helped me a lot. But is there anything that you've implemented in your routine that's helped you? That's one thing I like to share with people is just different things that they can do outside of just like the normal. Because people like to make things more complicated than they really are.
Absolutely, yeah. Kind of along those lines of going to the gym. I would go to the gym religiously at least 3 times a week prior to about 9 months ago. And 9 months ago, my girlfriend got pregnant. So we've been.
I was gonna say, I just saw her. She's about ready to.
Yeah,
she's about due here.
So that kind of slowed us down. We were when we first met.
You were both going.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's and I've been. It's just that's been something that I've been doing since I was 16, 15 years old. Really, since my high school days. And I, when I was through the military, that obviously was mandated. And then when I got out, I just kept it going. And
keep that momentum going.
Right. And I feel it. Like it kept me young. It kept me, lively to help with my mental health and really with, kind of cutting back on and not really going much at all these last 9 months just because we've been busy and she can't really go and work out. So we just kind of just sacrifice the time for work. But, yeah, it does affect you. It does, I realize how helpful that was for mental health. And, it's good physically, but
of course,
I think it's just as important.
Too. Make sure I'm sorry about that. Gotta turn my
I think it's just as important mentally as it is physically.
Oh yeah, definitely. And as far as structure wise and going into the military and everything, I mean, at such a young age, what made that decision? How did you come to make that decision? Because that's a serious decision.
Oh yeah, it's pretty crazy. So I've always sought some sort of brotherhood, honestly, from a young age, and growing up in South Chicago, really your choices for brotherhood were limited. A lot of people sought refuge in gangs, and I'm not gonna lie, it was at the forefront of my mind.
It was an option.
It was an option, absolutely, and I was there. I wanted to try the better option. I wanted to try, seeking that brotherhood through a good cause, and I found that calling in the military. I actually initially wanted to be to enlist in the Marines because they were more my speed, I guess you can say. But getting accepted to the Naval Academy, that there is a way to commission as a Marine officer, so that's why I went that route. Just the selection process being a ranking system, and you're competing against literally the best in the world. These service academies are considered. I don't know if you've ever seen Men in Black, but where he's like best of the best of the best, sir, for West Point. Yeah. Well, the Naval Academy is right there
with West Point.
With West Point.
Yeah.
Actually ranked a little bit higher for my Army brethren out there. But no, it's they're the probably one of, if not the most difficult institutions to not only get accepted to and graduate from, but they provide just their percentage of graduates are just among the kind of the elite when you think of their training, when you think of their education background, when you think of the leadership skills behind the training and everything else. It's right at so I'm competing against some of the best in the world. So, unfortunately, I was not ranked high enough to get selected for my first choice, which was Marine officer. I ended up getting surface warfare in the Navy. And, I had a good short career being a surface warfare officer and found my calling, after I honorably discharged as a business owner.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. As far as electronics go, how far back does you have to have some type of passion for electronics.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So how far back does that go, or when did that start? And obviously you have the name Yoshi, so it's like perfect.
Right. Yeah, it's weird because I actually went by, anybody that grew up with me out here in Davenport, they call me Shiko because I just started going by Yoshi in high school.
Okay.
But yeah, it was I was always a nerd, man. I was one of those gamers. I was like 80, 90 pounds soaking wet at 12 years old, 12, 13, 14. Just a very little guy that just really liked gaming and technology, and it's kind of always been a passion of mine. I never really saw myself making a career out of it, but I always, choosing computer engineering as a degree and pursuing that through the academy, I learned a lot in both programming, which is software, and then the actual circuitry, like the circuit board level of the hardware, and the really the everything behind it. And then you go into business, and you're like, okay, well, what can I do with my knowledge to make money? Mm-hmm. And technology is just one of those things that it's almost like food. It's almost a necessity now. It's it was labeled an essential business during the COVID shutdowns. So we were allowed to remain open. So, your phone it's almost an extension of your body now. People just don't even leave the house with it. So that's kind of.
Well, no one has landlines hardly anymore. Right. I thought about getting one just for kicks because it was like $5 a month.
Right.
Just to say I have a landline.
Yeah, it's but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just kind of linked a market of, hey, what can I do to use my knowledge of technology and to make some money off of it.
That's awesome. As far as we'll go back a little bit further. As far as when everybody hears Southside of Chicago, they always stop and they're like, "Oh, Southside of Chicago," and describe like that because this was obviously it's changed a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think for the better from what I've heard.
Right.
But I haven't been there in a long time. I used to do door-to-door sales in Chicago like 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. All over Chicago. It didn't matter. And there were certain parts where like people from there were like, yeah, we need to go. It's getting dark out.
Yeah, man, it's different. Growing up there, it was it just
starting here and going there.
Yeah, it was
big difference.
It was a day and night. It was a day and night, and people, that's why it's strange. When I open my bar, people are like, "Oh, you're opening in the ghetto." I'm like, "This is the burbs. What are you talking about?"
In comparison, yeah, in comparison,
yeah. I lived 127th in Ashland. There was a trailer park there in Calumet Park, and I mean, if I rode my bike down to McDonald's, it was one time I rode my bike down to McDonald's, and a guy just grabbed my handlebars. He's like, "This is a nice bike," and he pretty much was insinuating that it was now his bike, and you have to be. No, I was, like I said, I was about 90 pounds. This guy was probably about 140, 150,
older.
Yeah, a couple years older than me. As I went to a rival high school, and even with that, with my size, I couldn't back down. I had, you had, or else you'd be stepped on left and right. Your pride and your respect was worth more than your life, and that is the mentality in Chicago. Is you defend your pride and your respect with your life because life is not worth living without it. So that's why you see these young kids, these young generations, with all the crime and you're like, man, it's in broad daylight. Oh man, it's like, why would they do this? Why are they throwing their lives away? Because that is it.
It's a pride thing.
Now relate that to the military. Same age, same people, but it's just a different fight. You know what I mean? It's instead of fighting for your country, you're fighting for your neighborhood. You're fighting for your family. You're fighting for your brothers. Either way, you're fighting for your brothers. You know what I mean? Brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So that's the way they see it, and that's the way we were raised out there. Is if you have to not only defend yourself, but you're a representation of either your gang or your family name or where you're from or even yourself. So if you didn't fight, whether you got beat up, whether you got whatever, you were seen as a lesser person, So a lot of people saw that disrespect and loss of pride is worse than death. And that's why they do what they do.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, as far as the bike goes, did you get to keep the bike or not?
Oh, yeah, I fucking kept that bike. I actually ended up having so I ended up fighting that guy later on that night. It was a big deal.
Everybody got it. Yeah, everybody got together.
Everybody got together for this thing. It was in a basketball court, and
planned.
I thought I brought 10 people, and he brought like no exaggeration, more than 50. Just so many people.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it was crazy. And
was this before cell phones too, or was this right?
No, there was cell phone. This was like the Motorola Razr type age.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So he could have shot out a few texts there.
Yeah. He did. Luckily, my brother, I got fucking my ass just handed to me. and then I got jumped afterwards just to put the icing on the cake. But what saved my life that day actually was my brother. He had drove his work truck with the lights on, flashing into the crowd, like blazing into the crowd, took his shirt off, and like was ready to fight everybody. You know what I mean? Like ready to defend me with.
And how old's
with
your brother?
life. He's about 14 years older than I am.
Oh, geez, that's quite the gap.
Yeah, so he was a lot. Me, I think I was 15 at the time, so he was probably around 30,
pushing 30,
30, yeah. So, but yeah, no, and grabbed me by the neck, threw me in the trucks, like told me that, hey, you don't need to be out here doing this. You're better than this. You don't need, this is not the life for you. And that kind of opened my eyes a little bit to, maybe I need to make better decisions, because I was that guy at fucking 90, 95 pounds, soaking wet, that would never back down from it.
Yeah.
I would always be ready to fight people, but I didn't understand at the time that, there's sometimes you got to choose.
Pick your battles.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Be smart about it, or else you may not live to fight the other day.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't make it out of there, man. They just stay there and then
absolutely
end up, for lack of a better way, a statistic.
Yeah.
And it's just terrible, man.
Yeah.
And it's only gotten, I hear, it's almost like they don't even talk about it as much on the news anymore, just because it happens so regularly.
It's so common. And honestly, it was no more common now than it was back then. It's just with social media.
Everything's more.
Yeah, it's brought to light, but it's always been like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard about this. Well, South, and then there's the West Side. There's parts of the West Side and the South Side.
Yeah, there's different factions, different gangs out there, but honestly, I don't know. It's the same old story, and we still fight this same old story, even outside of gangs. It's it's a controversial topic, but even in the military, we're fighting other people's battles, and all we have to rely on within ourselves is our brother. We're not here for them. We're there for the guy next to us. You know what I mean? And that's why we do it. We don't do it for whatever overarching reason that the government may come up with. It's more for each other. Yeah,
that camaraderie, that brotherhood,
absolutely.
Fellowship, but all those words.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, getting into the business side of things. So, what made you decide that, hey, I don't want to work the 9 to 5, especially when you got back here? Because did you try to do the 9 to 5 thing for a little bit?
I did. So, in order for me to elaborate on why I chose to get back to business, was so I was actually bonded out. I was afforded bond a year after being incarcerated. Only because they were forced to. Speedy trial in Virginia is 6 months. So I was actually charged with 1 count of capital murder initially, and then 6 months into my jail time, I was supposed to go to trial for speedy trial, and then they tacked on another just bullshit capital murder charge, which was the same thing. The same charge, but under different wording. But they knew this, and they did it anyways in order to extend my time in jail, because their goal was to get me to take some sort of plea to just make it all go away. And
they wanted you to say you were guilty,
right?
Yeah,
and I would not. I kept fighting it, and because I knew I wasn't, and so that pushed me to 12 months, and then they couldn't keep me any longer, so they had to afford me a bond. I bonded out with the stipulation that I had a ankle monitor on, so I had that initially in Virginia. Went back up, supposed to go to trial. The prosecution asked for a continuance, and they were granted it with the stipulation that I would be able to move my bond to Iowa. So that's when the judge granted it, because this was the 6th continuation by the prosecution. We had not had one single continuation by the defense.
Judge was just like, I'm sick of this.
Yeah, she was. You can see it in her face. She was sick of it. And so she granted it. I came to Iowa, and unfortunately, with pending murder charges on your record, no one will hire you.
Yeah.
I couldn't volunteer. I actually volunteered tried to volunteer for the what is it called? not Goodwill, but it starts with a S. I can't remember, but it was a charity organization here in the area, and they turned me down because of the charges. So I couldn't even volunteer. That's how bad it was. So I had no choice. I had to work for myself.
So how did that even happen? You getting pinned with that? That's probably a longer. That's probably a long.
It's a very long story. I can give you the Cliff Notes version.
Yeah, the summarized version of that.
So I had the same electronics store in Virginia, and one of my employees, who I was just in a really bad spot in life, I gave him the opportunity to not only become an employee in my organization, but I promoted him to manager.
Manager. Okay.
And over the course of a year, or a little over a year, he had stolen and embezzled over just hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you may think to yourself, well, how does somebody do that? He was deleting. He was purchasing things in the business name, and then he would delete the inventory out and basically just go and resell the items on his own. He had the level of access to be able to basically manipulate the inventory, the accounting, and just the money in general. And it was not like overnight. This was over a course of a year. So it was really hard to track because of literally the cash system that we use for purchasing and selling these phones. Anyways. So I found out he was doing this actually from my other employees. So I opened a theft and embezzlement charge on him from my local police department. Well, he went and basically concocted this story that I was some sort of hitman, freaking international like criminal, Pablo Escobar type of guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he had to one-up you.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have no idea, with zero evidence, I have no idea how they bought this thing. Not at all. Like, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars extraditing me from the Philippines, which I would go to the Philippines for. Okay, so I can kind of see where the cops are coming from. I'm a young, black, 25, I think it was a 25-year-old with a lot of money, traveling internationally 4 or 5 times a year. You know what I mean? So
because you have family in the Philippines.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm also half Filipino, and I had a house out there. I got a car out there. I got a sports complex out there. I mean, I had reason to be there and reason to travel back and forth. My girlfriend at the time was out there. And, but outside looking in, you're like, there's no way this guy is making, you know what I mean? Making all this money,
this
making all these
moves. Too good to be true.
Yeah. So they pretty much were like, okay, we'll use your story to find something bigger. We're gonna find something. There's no way this guy is legit. So that was the idea behind why they pursued these charges. I think that's my best guess. Even thinking on it today.
Yeah.
So that's after the extradition in 4 different jails later is where I ended up landing in Hampton Roads Regional. But I was just beside myself the whole time. I'm just like, how the fuck?
Yeah.
How the hell is this happening?
Yeah.
But I mean, my life kind of turned on its head, and to be honest, like everything happens for a reason.
So who did they think that you killed?
And that's the funny part, man. So the name is Rich Porter. Rich Porter doesn't exist. It's not a real person. He made it up. So he used the name of a customer that came into the store and called him a dude. It was a man, and he thought it was a man at least. So he's like, oh yeah, this guy Rich Porter, he had beef with him, so he was gonna kill him and this and that. And then turns out this Rich Porter character never met me, doesn't even know who I am. Did come into my store to sell a phone, but never knew who I was. On top of that, the name's not actually Rich Porter. It's like, honestly, I forgot. It starts with an L.
Name?
It's actually a chick. It's a girl, and she's like a tomboy type girl. I forgot what you call those. But yeah, she dresses like a guy, use a guy's name, and And
so she had transitioned a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
She went by the name of Rich Porter, but that wasn't her original name.
That wasn't her government name.
No.
Got it.
So when the police finally found who this random individual was, she told the police, I don't know him. I have no idea who that guy is. Yeah, I sold him a phone, but that's it. This was like 6 months into my jail time. So even after they found this out, they still held me in that jail and charged me with that second count in order to find something, because they knew if this got out that
they messed up.
They fucked up. Millions of dollars in lawsuits. Millions of dollars. Because, I mean, I lost everything. I lost my car. I lost my business. I lost my house, you know.
Yeah.
So it gave me a really, really sour taste. After spending 8 years of honorable service to my country, to, you know, in the name of this, you know, this legal system, this justice system. That's why you'll hear me speak ill of the government and sometimes of our just judicial system, because I've been wrung through the ringer, man. I've just been eaten up and shit out of this. And here's the shittiest part. When I went to trial, finally, like 2.5 years later, I went to trial in 2019, and I get to the court.
Was the trial here then?
No, it was in
Virginia. Still in Virginia.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get to the court. My lawyer, you know, they go through the whole motions of, the prosecution's offering a plea. I said, I already told you, man, I'm not taking a plea. I didn't do anything. Well, you got to listen to it. All right, man, I'll listen to it, but I'm not taking it. Okay. Gives me the first one. It's some bullshit plea, 15 years, you know, some other stipulation. I was like, absolutely fucking not. And then the second plea came, you know, she said, all right, I'll be right back. Came back, second plea, 5 years. Absolutely not. Came back. He's like, all right, Yosh, this is the last one, and I'm gonna tell you. He's like, I've been defending you for two plus years now. You spent over $100,000 on my defense of you. I'm giving you my professional opinion. You need to take this plea. You need to take this plea. I'm like, I told you I'm not taking a plea, but what is it?
What is it? Yeah.
And he's like, no felony, no jail time. Right to vote, right to own a firearm, nothing on your record other than 2 Class 6 misdemeanors, lowest class of misdemeanors that you can get. They'll fall off your record in 5 years or some shit. He's like, no one will really even see it outside of the state of Virginia. You don't live in Virginia, so it won't matter. And he's like, this is the best plea you can get. It's not even worth risking going to court. Take this plea, you'll be a free man. I said, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to admit to something I didn't do. I don't care if it doesn't. He's like, so this is the part that got me right here.
He's like, this guy.
Yeah. So mind you, this is the top 3 criminal defense attorney in the United States. He serves as a substitute judge on the bench in Virginia. And he even travels to Texas sometimes to serve as a judge there. That's how big this guy is. And he told me, he said, he grabbed me by the shoulder. He's like, Yosh, me and you both know that the justice system isn't always just. They're going to find something. They're not going to just let you walk if you go to trial. This will at least give them a way out. But if you don't give them a way out, they will find a way. And it's going to be at your expense. And looking me dead in the fucking eyes, man, and I'm like, what do I do? You know what I mean? So my mom's sitting there. She's we go into the courtroom because I agree. I was like, okay, yeah, I guess I see what you're saying. He's like, well, the biggest thing that got me as a part of that speech, he's like, you want to fight this? You want to fight this corrupt system? You're this big advocate for justice, and you're willing to sacrifice your life for it. But what the hell are you going to do inside in jail? What the hell are you going to do in prison? How are you going to fight this in prison? You're not going to be a martyr. You're not going to be anything. You're going to be another guy in prison, another black man in prison is what he said. And he's like, well, fight this from the outside. Take the plea. Fight this from the outside. Advocate from the outside. Advocate as a free man. But you can't do shit as a prisoner.
Yeah, and you're just another prisoner that says you're innocent, and then
Right.
everybody says they're innocent.
And
Not everybody, but
yeah, absolutely.
a lot of people do. Yeah.
And I'm looking at it. I mean, if a judge finds you guilty, you're fucking guilty, right? Whether you did it or So I understood what he was saying. So reluctantly, we went to the courtroom. Judge who's been following this case for 2.5 years
Just
knows.
sick of it.
Yeah. Just she gets this plea in front of her. You can tell she's disappointed. She looks at me. She reads off the plea and she asks me. She's like, "Mr. Haddon, do you willingly take this plea free of coercion or free of threats of prosecution and this and that?" And I looked at my attorney. He's like pulling on my arm and nodding yes. I look back at my mom. She's sitting in the stands, and she's just vigorously shaking her head no. I look back as I'm looking at my mom. He tugs even harder on my suit, sleeve. I look at the judge and I say, I kind of put my eyes down and under my breath say yes. And she shakes her head. She gives a couple side to side nods and all right. And then she reads off the charges. Mr. Haddon, you're pleading guilty to falsification of a police report and obstruction of justice were the 2 class 6 misdemeanors that they charged me with, which were bullshit charges. I even asked him, I was like, "What are these charges?" He's like, "They're bullshit. They're bullshit. They're nothing."
Based off of?
Yeah, they're just filler charges. They need something. Stop asking questions. I mean, he was really just trying to push me through this.
Yeah.
And it's shitty, man, because it's just not as just of a system as we like to give it credit for. And there are good people in the justice system. There are good cops, but there are bad ones too. Because this detective that was pushing this case knew I was innocent. She knew I was innocent the whole fucking time. But she wanted that conviction because that would get her promotion. And this prosecutor knew I was innocent this whole time, and he wanted that conviction because he wanted it for his record.
Yeah, it's all about numbers. Justice doesn't, it's not even
It's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
They're fucking people's lives up for numbers and for promotions. Just the idea of your bond. Honestly, you're dictating freedom based on how much money someone has. That's the bond system.
Yeah.
It's just the whole. So it's a broken system. It is, and even one of the top criminal defense attorneys even said it himself. And I'm glad I listened to him, to be honest, because understanding what I went through and how far they went, how much money they spent, the money was ridiculous. An extradition from the Philippines back to the United States, that's damn near $1 million, man. That's a lot of fucking money for
one guy.
For a guy with no criminal record.
Yeah.
No fucking evidence. You know what I mean?
So whatever happened to the other guy?
I asked that. I asked if they...
You guys going to do anything about the legit charges that I filed against this guy?
They couldn't do anything because then it would make them look wrong. It would make it look like they were wrong.
So he got away with stealing.
Yeah, absolutely. Got away with stealing.
I'm sure that probably caught up to him.
Oh yeah, it was funny because as I was out on bond, I went to Virginia to actually see Kane Brown in Virginia Beach, and
nice.
I was with an ex-girlfriend at the time, and I saw him there doing security, and we locked eyes for like a second. And he looked away real fucking quick and was in a hurry. He started scurrying away. Big fucking 350 pound black Muslim dude named Abdul Hafiz Walker. You son of a bitch. And he just kind of made his exit from there. He's like he saw a ghost. Honestly, he never thought I'd ever get out of jail because the way they painted me.
Yeah.
And if there's video, if you Google my name, there's still YouTube videos of my arrest, of the news article. I was on World News. I was on Interpol. I was on the international police. I was wanted in every country in the world. They put me on a list usually reserved for the worst of the worst criminals.
Yeah.
And they
were under this assumption that you were the worst of the worst. Yeah.
They were under this assumption I was some
Man,
sort of international.
what a story.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Isn't that fucking wild?
That guy had I don't know what a convincing. That's the only thing I can think of.
I still to this day cannot fucking fathom how they could have taken what he was telling them and invested so many resources into believing it, into making it true. You know what I mean? To finding something, because I mean, they confiscated my phones. They were interviewing all my employees. They were, ransacked my parents' house. They actually raided my parents' house. Jeez. Forced my father to open up his gun safe. Yeah, wrecked the whole fucking basement, wrecked the whole house. I mean, tore it apart looking for evidence. And they just, it's, I don't know. I can't put two and two together.
That's something I'm actually going to have. Well, we're probably going to talk about the justice system on Thursday. I don't know when this episode will release yet because I have so many that I have recorded right now. But it'll probably get released after I record this next episode, and which I'm going to release right away, just based on. I don't know if you know this person. Some people do. Spike Cohen.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got it, man, but I got it.
He's coming?
He's not coming. I'm not doing it in person. I'm doing it over Zoom.
Oh, that'd be so sick. He's my favorite politician, man.
Yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
He's out there. He's out there fighting, man.
What?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. That fucking, he's
all from just an email. I was just like, sent through his website. Not like I didn't find the right email to send it to. I was just like, you know what? I really like this guy. I'm gonna send him. I'm just gonna shoot him an email through his website for a request, and then his manager. He didn't call himself his manager, but because they're very professional, but they're super just realistic and cool. And I talked to Brian, I don't know, he didn't want to label himself the manager. He's like, I guess you could call me the manager. Because he's does a lot of stuff for him. And he's just like, we definitely want to do it. And I was just like, man, what am I going to talk to this guy about? Because he's also in recovery too. So, and I'm in recovery. Yeah. And he's been in recovery for 16 years. So we're going to talk about that too. So I'm like, and he's like, do it later. Right. He'll stay on later if you do it later. I'm like, okay.
Damn, man. I don't know if you somehow, fuck, man, if I could be a part of that, because dude, I'm telling you, this is my idol, man. He's the potential next president, the leader of the Libertarian Party. I mean, this guy is big.
He shows up at council meetings just consistently advocate, being an actual politician.
Absolutely. For the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Very much so. That's why I was like, okay, I got it. I was like, because I told myself when the podcast started really gaining steam, and I was like, I'm really going to do this. I was like, if I I almost had a politician on that was more, he was running for city council, so you don't have to claim a party. Mm-hmm. He was definitely a Democrat. So I was like, I can't do one of the two parties because I don't like the two-party system.
Right.
And they already get enough press. Yep. They get enough publicity. Yeah. So I'm like, if I'm going to do anything, hey, I'll have somebody on here. I don't necessarily agree with people from the Green Party, but I'd have them on because, people don't hear about those ideas.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the Libertarian movement it's the third biggest party. I mean, obviously, it's way behind the other two because they're so commercialized and promoted, and it's a rigged game.
It is.
That's another rigged system, and I'm going to talk to them about that too, about how they're going to try to get on. Because my big thing that I noticed last time was why are they not letting him on the? Well, because it wasn't Spike. Spike was the vice presidential nominee, but why are they not letting? Why can I not remember her name off the top of my head?
Jo
Jorgensen on the debate stage. Why is that not a thing?
Yeah.
What's the deal here? And she talked about it very openly, and I was following that for a while, up until election time, and it was just you got to play. You got to pay to win. You got to pay to be on that stage.
Absolutely, man. And they don't want you to interrupt the rules of their game. I mean, the two-party system. If I can give my opinion.
And the debates are such a joke now.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. They are. I mean, it's a setup, man. It's the reason why they pick. Yeah, it's just the same reason why they pit black versus white. U.S. versus Mexico or anybody else. They want
always 1v1.
Yeah, the rich versus the poor, the middle class versus the lower class. They always want some sort of conflict, and this dates back all the way to the medieval times. If you can create artificial conflict amongst the common folk, they will never. They'll be too busy fighting themselves to rise and revolt against the oppressors.
Yeah, to figure out what's
and
really
this is what they did it with slavery too. They did it with the house slaves and the field slaves. They pitted them against each other. One was always had to be better than the other. Or, oh, we're the ones doing the world.
You wanted to be in the house.
Absolutely, yeah. So they, that way they take their anger away from their actual oppressors and they pit it against each other. So, and it just goes back as far as time. It goes to religion.
Yeah, from a logical perspective, it's very easy to see, but then you're like, no. But then you're like, no, they can't be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's easier to just deny it.
Yeah,
just be like,
it is.
It's not happening. There's not all this corruption going on. There's no way people are that evil. No, there are people that are
absolutely, man.
And terrible people out there.
I'm telling you, coming from having held a TSSCI clearance, which is your top secret clearance, and being privy to knowledge that most people will never be privy to, and knowing a lot of the real reasons behind some of the conflicts we're in, it really opened your eyes, man, on how this country is run. And I guess fortunately and unfortunately, it gave me an advantage, is why I'm so successful in business, because I understand the game I have to play in order to be successful, because I'm literally kind of rewriting the book that these guys wrote, you know what I mean? So I know the kind of the groundwork that I need to do, and I could recreate this over and over again. I could lose everything and recreate it over and over again, because the model is the same, and you can literally create it with its knowledge. It's not actually having any assets or resource. It's actually the knowledge, because once you have the knowledge, you can obtain everything else. And as long as you have that, you'll always be able to get it back. And that's why these people are able to do what they do, and how they're able to manipulate. But like you said, once you figure out the game, you're like, there's no way. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're this. You're that.
Yeah.
Man, there's so much more truth to it.
Yeah, I have some friends that are more that post more openly about things than I do, and I'm just kind of I pay attention. And I had a buddy of mine that was at the Capitol but didn't go in because he was like, that's stupid.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's like,
oh man.
And he also everybody says he's crazy, but he's like, the people that actually started that were like, they were not even like the regular people that were there.
No.
He's like, it was so weird. Like, it was like, there was the people that were there because they were like, they were supporting what they wanted to support. They thought the election was all messed up. And that's what they were there for. They weren't there to like cause a bunch of problems. They weren't there to burn anything down or blow anything up.
No.
And all of a sudden, there's like this group of people that like started a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
And then all hell broke loose.
It's the same thing with the riots during, the COVID shutdown, where people were breaking into businesses and burning down businesses. Same thing, man. It was, a lot of people who were witness to it were saying the people that were doing it, they've never seen before. Once you start something, it's easy to get people to keep going. You know what I mean? If you get one person to break into a store and steal something and nothing happened to them, well, everybody else is gonna be like, oh, well, shit, hell yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So they, it's a lot of that, man, and I don't know. The thing is, so this has been going on for forever, right? This is we can't, it's not like, oh, this just started happening. No, the reason why we're starting to catch wind of all this is because of the internet.
Technology,
the internet. Technology.
Film stuff and capture stuff in real time.
Seamless, instant communication across the world. We have never been able to communicate with other countries, with other social demographics as easily and seamlessly as we are now. I mean, with a click of a button, we're now capturing footage. We're now capturing live information. And then with another click of a button in a few seconds, we're able to share that information across the entire globe. That's why we're coming together as a social cast. That's why we're coming together as a common people and starting to realize, hey, maybe we're not crazy. Maybe the government doesn't have our best interests, and I'm not talking about our local city, councilman or whatever. I'm talking about an overarching
people that have been in Washington for like 30, 40
Absolutely.
years.
And it's not limited to our government, man. This is around the world.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere.
In the Philippines, it was even worse actually under the last president's rule, Duterte. He literally murdered tens of thousands of people in broad daylight. I was there when he was doing it. He was conducting these drug raids. And drug rates, we're talking about shit as stupid as like weed,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you got caught with even just a gram of weed, man, you got shot on the spot. And that was their whole, we're cleaning up the Philippines. This is for the universal
Send
good.
a message, yeah.
Oh, man, it's crazy. It's wild.
It's like, I've met people, not necessarily people that smoke weed, but people that have done harder drugs, like, even that's not going to get them to stop.
Right.
That's not how you stop people from doing drugs.
Oh, it
doesn't work that way.
Most of them didn't even have drugs on them. It was a way for them
to
legally assassinate people and wipe out.
Get rid of people that they didn't want. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. So how far of to bring things on a lighter note, how far, how long of a flight is it to the Philippines? I've never been.
It's my last flight out there was 27 hours there, 32 hours back.
Oh man.
Yeah. Get comfortable, man.
Holy shit.
Pop a edible before you get on that plane or something.
Yeah. Gotta have either something to do or lots of sleep.
Yeah. I mean, the planes are pretty cool now. They got TVs. You can watch movies and shit now. I try to just sleep through the whole thing. But, I mean, games on your phone, TVs on the back of the seats.
Yeah.
It's a lot better experience than it was 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah, I bet. 20 years ago, that was rough.
Yeah.
Oh, man. The longest flight I've taken was like 8 hours. And that was to Hawaii. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I went to Hawaii right when the pandemic started.
March.
We weren't even sure if we were gonna go. But we were like, it was in Hawaii. Really hadn't had that many cases.
Yeah.
So we went for it, and as soon as we got there, like 3 days later, they like started shutting everything down.
Right.
So we ended up leaving early. It sucked. Because this was like a trip like my family had planned. My parents did it for their anniversary, and like it's me and my brother and sister and my sister-in-law, and just complete wash.
Right.
It sucked. But I really want to go back to Hawaii. There's a lot of cool places in Hawaii. Like I didn't even get to stay to go to like you couldn't even go see Pearl Harbor or anything. Like,
what's crazy, man, is so I have a buddy who's still in the Navy now. He's I think he's an 04. And but at the time he was a lieutenant. He worked in Washington under a general, which he's in the Navy as a captain, or sorry, not captain, lieutenant. But anyway, so I was bowling, and he calls me. This is around like February of 2022.
You're really into the leisure sports. You like bowling and you like pool.
Yeah, I'm a hobby guy.
Yeah.
So anyway, he gives me a call, man, and he's like, he calls me. He's like, hey, man, I just want you to know there's something big coming. Like, there's something big coming from China, and he's like, I can't really get too much into it, what's going on right now, but I just, it's just like, be safe. It's some sort of virus, and it's a lot more serious than people are going to make it out to be. But and then he kind of got into a few other things that he specifically asked me not to talk about.
Yeah.
But it was so strange, man, because at the time I'm like, what are you talking about?
I remember hearing about it. in China, the being locked down in China, and hearing about it I used to listen to, because I was like, what? I was so sick of like every news station. I was listening to NPR because it was just dry news. And I was listening to Iowa Public Radio because I used to commute to Iowa City to work every day. And so I'd listen to that, and I was listening to like them interviewing people that were stuck in their houses.
Right.
And I was just like, what the hell is going on, man? And I was like, this is just happening in China. And this was like in November.
Right.
And I was like, I didn't think really much of it.
Right.
And then a few months later, it's like, this is here now.
Right. Yeah, because, I mean, it was hitting the news to where people were like, oh, that's China. What do we care? You know what I mean? And, yeah, it's, man, it's crazy because I mean,
that sounds terrible, but that's not our problem.
Right.
You know, you're just like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just crazy how because we've never, I mean, the entire history, we've never faced anything global like that to where countries are coordinating and doing the same exact preventative measures and doing the same exact things.
And some doing like none.
Yeah.
There was like some that did like, was it Sweden or was it Switzerland? Like they didn't lock down at all.
Yeah, and it's strange because their numbers of
not that different.
No.
It was like, well, it's not like that. Some of it, like, you know, people were like well intended. There was some of it was like, yeah, we should do this. We should try to do preventive stuff. I get it, and then there's part of it's like, what's really going on?
Right, it's really going exactly, and that what's really going on.
My questionable side, because I like to question everything. And
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
and I also, you know, and I know people have, you know, lost their lives because of COVID. I know people that have, not like directly, but I know of people, and I know it's not like fake.
Right.
I know it's a serious thing. Just for precaution, I had to edit this part out a little bit just in case I run into some issues of someone trying to deplatform me. Not that I agree or disagree with what Yoshi said here, but I had to cut it out for a couple of reasons. If you're still listening, please share this podcast with somebody or comment, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff wherever you're listening, and do a review if you have time. Those do a lot for me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for listening.
Us being able to close the gaps by being able to access that global market, and now you have entertainers that came from YouTube, entertainers that come from TikTok, making millions of dollars. So we're able to, you know, as a normal average citizen, you're able to gain, you know, you have the opportunity to become a millionaire in more ways now than ever available in history, in the history of mankind. And that is
scary.
Contributing, contributing to their loss of control.
What do you think about you said something about TikTok. I saw something the other day. I haven't really looked into it yet, but have you heard about the theory about, because obviously we're not in China, so we don't know what happens in China. Apparently the TikTok algorithm is completely different in China than it is in America.
Yeah.
Like it's like they're pushing, like if you're a TikTok user in China and say you're like a 17-year-old kid, your algorithm is going to be showing you like informational, informative, like, you know, people like doing really like educational, cool things, like next level stuff.
Right.
And then on our feeds, you're seeing like dumb people doing pranks and shit. Like the feeds are completely different. And I think the algorithms does have to do with, you know, what you're watching anyway. Like mine shows up with a bunch of like, because I like to golf, so it knows I like golf now. So it's showing up with like different people teaching me how to golf better, which I don't know if anybody can. But,
yeah, no, it's interesting. I mean, and it's not limited to TikTok, man. You know, Facebook.
Yeah.
And, you know, these big social media sites.
Or you're talking about something and then it's on your phone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's real.
I mean, it's I mean, I don't really.
And people know it's real now because they can't deny it because
right.
they literally like we're talking about something.
Yeah.
something we talk about is probably going to show up on my feed right now. So I'm going to
Right.
get a TikTok ad or something.
Right.
On my Facebook, which is
right, most definitely. And that's the thing is, I don't think it's limited. I really think that's more of a capitalism type thing. I think they're just mining information to be able to focus marketing on the intended target. I don't see too much wrong with that. I mean if I'm forced to see an ad, at least relate it to me. You know what I mean? I don't want to go see I don't want to see an ad about tampons or
it's
women's
not
underwear or
relatable.
something. Right? I can't. Can't
relate to that.
All right, but if you're showing me ads on. Oh man, this pool shaft, or this, I don't know, this new business software. I'm interested in that. That does interest me. I do buy those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, there's some good to it, and I think that's maybe where the conspiracy theories get carried a little. Because what is
because some do get
So what is the bad side of that though? Like where is that? You talk about invasion of privacy and this and that, but
they're trying to dumb us down somehow. That's the theory behind it. That's what I saw anyway.
Okay.
I don't know how true that is, and I don't know if the algorithm's any different.
Right.
I have no idea.
Right.
I'm not in China. I don't know anyone in China to be like, hey, what's your algorithm? Like, I don't have that information, but I just thought that was interesting. I'm like, that they could. Because what goes on in China, it's almost like the old theory with Vegas: what happens in China stays in China.
Right.
Except for COVID-19.
Right. It's a unique, man. It's a very unique country because the largest densely populated country in the world, and then they're essentially a dictatorship.
Mm-hmm.
They have mastered the control of large populations. They have mastered it. They are the best at it. So whatever they're doing may just be, maybe their tactics are being sold to other governments to say, hey, this is how you control your people. I don't know. Other than outside of the monetary value of it, like I said, because mining data, mining people's, interest and their, that's why people used to do surveys back in the day and they paid them for it to gain information and sell it to companies. Being a business owner, that
I think they still do. I think you still can make money off doing surveys, not as much as you used
right.
to. Yeah, I think
because they try to get it organically now, so they'll provide you with a free product with the understanding that hey, you're going to be exchanging your data for a free product. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where a lot of us don't understand how we get free things like Facebook, like Instagram, like these games that we play on our phones. And we do pay for it. We pay for it in information.
Mm-hmm.
So, and companies pay a lot of money for that information. And so do governments. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. What do we got here for time? We should probably wrap up.
Absolutely, man. Yeah.
But I appreciate you being on. Yeah, we could have gone on a chair there.